How you guys doing? It's Imu Kim, and I want to have this discussion about crossover debates. I think crossover debating, and when I'm talking about crossover debates, I'm talking about specifically just when someone puts in a character that you appreciate and really like, and you want to have another fight with another character um, that you believe may or may not win against. And when you kind of think about it, man, as you grow older, man, your ideas and fantasies, it's like, hey, I want to see Superman versus One Punch Man or something like that, and it's like, well, how would that turn out? And it's like, well, I mean, as a fan, I mean, I can choose who I want to win realistically, because think about it, guys. Really, real talk. They're fictional characters. And I'm not trying to kill the hype train on the crossovers and such and so. I mean, I like crossovers a lot. I mean, hell, that's Marvel vs. Capcom is what got me into knowing that type of stuff when I was a kid. Capcom days, arcade, man. But, it's like, when you think of crossovers, it's like, well, it doesn't really matter who wins or who wins or not. Because it all depends on the person who's making it, and it all depends on the writer. If the writing's effective, of course, but at the same time, I mean, we get Batman versus Superman or crossovers all the time, and it's like, well, Batman's going to win because he has favoritism. And people always make an excuse by saying, oh, because he's smart, he's always prepared. Yeah, we can always rely on that resource. But why not just make up one? I mean, not a dumb one, or he gets like I remember just recently searching up a comic strip of Superman versus Spider-Man, and I was thinking, like, how the hell that's going to work out? Spider-Man don't even got that similar, that doesn't have nothing similar to Superman. He's not even a Kryptonian. He's just a guy who shoots web swings on the buildings. And when you think about it, it's like, how that's going to work out. It sounds interesting, right? And then you find out, like, I remember there was a scene in the comic strip where there's a scientist that gives Spider-Man the same ability as Superman, Kryptonian abilities, so where he's on that same level. And that just pretty much puts the frosting on the cake. To me, it's great. It keeps everything even. And it feels like it's effective writing because it makes sense, you know what I'm saying? Another one, Mortal Kombat vs. DC, probably was not the best fighting game in the world, but I did like the idea of the story, thanks to John Tobias. His writing to it, what I like about the idea of the story was the fact that, okay, how is Mortal Kombat characters going to take on Superman? It sounds impossible, right? You're putting dark, violent, greedy characters, thunder gods that, blow their brains out and everything, and, have a scorpion, ripping someone's spine out, set them on fire to hell. I mean, how is that going to work? And it's like, well, in a way it works. Either way, it gives it a superhero style, a brutal one. But main point is, okay, how are they going to take on each other? Well, here's the story. If you have Shao Kahn and you have Darkseid colliding both teleportations and causing a time paradox, you're pretty much colliding the universe. And when you collide the universe, it makes the characters more powerful, basically. So this thing called the rage. So when they get the rage, they basically get everybody has the rage, and that makes them equally powerful. The same. It's interesting. Excuse me, I got something in my throat. I think I'm having a cold, but I like the idea of that because it's genius. It's like, oh, okay, so everyone has the same ability of the rage, which makes them stronger, powerful. Everyone's equally, has the same abilities. Not the same, but I mean abilities as in they have the same strength, which is freaking great. So they can take on each other anytime they want to. It doesn't matter how powerful they are. It's a game of checkers. It's a game of, it's a thumb war. You know what I'm saying? Whoever gets pinned down first wins. It's basically kind of like that, but not in a cheap way. And I think crossover debates, it's just pointless because crossover debates, it's like, well, all we're doing is just shuffling an argument. Now, I used to do this all the time, but as I grow older, and nowadays it's like, I'm not going to argue over some fictional characters. This is not Mayweather versus a Pacquiao fight, okay? Because that's real. I would have a debate over real fighters, but not fictional fighters, because they don't exist. You can make up anything you want about the story. Hell, I can make up a story about Kenshiro whooping the shit out of Jotaro with just a bitch slap and says, "You're already my bitch." Or I can have Jotaro use a star finger and penetrate Kenshiro's skull if I wanted to. I can do whatever the fuck I want because I have favoritism. Now, when it comes to like my crossover, I don't put true favoritism. I put everything as my favoritism. And what I mean by that, I know that it doesn't make any sense, but bear with me. I'm putting all my favorite characters. I'm not being selective. I'm choosing all the manliest characters, what's going to work best for them, how I want the fight to go, and how the writing is going to be effective. Like how is Jonathan going to take on, like Kenshiro, or how's Kenshiro going to take on the world or something like that. And I can make up anything of what I want to do, put the story to, because it is a fan-made crossover. It is not officially made by the writer. It would be a different story if it was Tetsuo Hara doing writing with, Araki or something like that. Then I would go ahead and judge that, because that's their work, that's their rights. They have the rights to their own characters. So I just think crossover debating is just stupid. It's just like, well, if you don't like the fights, and second of all, another thing, Screw Attack, I never liked them to begin with. The only time when I first got to know about them was the fact that when I got to hear about Kratos versus Spawn, and I found it exciting because Spawn is never known on the spotlight. And I'm like, wow, Spawn versus Kratos, how's that going to work out? I'm curious. And I did like the ideas where they find their resource, they rely on resources they put in from the comics or movies or Wikipedia. And it's like, okay, and your point is, okay, so what if Kratos has these similar abilities, or so what if he has these limits? So what? We can make up a story about it. It's called a crossover. And when you have a crossover, you want the fight to be fair, okay? It's just like Marvel vs. Capcom. There's not really no plot to why they're fighting. Like, oh, how can Ryu take on the Juggernaut? How can Ryu take on Galactus? Who the fuck cares? We just want to see them fight. Alright? And I'm far from alone from this, to tell you the truth, if you think I'm the one just saying this, because there's plenty of people out there that I bet they say this. And most importantly, Stan Lee said the same shit. He said the same thing. Stan Lee said the same thing about who will win. Well, it depends on who writes the script. Seriously. And if the script is effective. And it's not, favoritism or biased. I don't like biased or favoritism. Fuck that. But if you have two characters you're favorite of, you're a fan of, and you would just want to see them fight just to fight in an epic fight, and hell, you could just have an awesome fight and they're equally the same level. That's fucking cool, alright? There's really no debating in that. Like, if you didn't do this, he would have lost, or he has this ability so he can win for sure, Really? I've been doing this I've been having some arguments or debating for years, and maybe last year, but I'm done with that now, so I'm just enjoying what I like for my characters. And even if I had my own made-up characters that I made, if I saw my own made-up characters in Death Battle, I could care less. The only thing that really gets on my nerves is the people who will fucking just start shit for no fucking reason. He will never win against this battle, or who the fuck cares, man? Alright, I'll make my own fucking story and make up why they were fighting, why I want them to fight, and how the fight's gonna be. If you don't like it, then, sorry for your loss. Whatever, go make up your own damn story. That's all I gotta say. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody about this crossover stuff. I'm just saying that even when I hear about it, it's just dumb. It's like, recently I'm hearing about, like, Astro Boy versus Mega Man. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. That should be a comic book right there, But a battle, and it's like, and then I'm looking at the comment section. Jesus Louise, man, the comment section is ridiculous. You'll see, I can sit here and drink my soup and keep clicking down on the chain links of the comment section. Just how stupid the argument. You're writing a fucking script of how the fight should have been. Why didn't you just put that in the freaking in your own project? Oh, but I can't afford my own digital work, and I can't get Adobe software. I can't get none of this. Yes, you can, motherfucker. Go draw your own comic book or make your own animation, okay? Who cares? I've seen people do it before. They didn't like the Ryu versus Hayabusa versus Shredder fight. Oh well, you know, like, go make up your own damn story. It's fucking Screw Attack. And I don't like Screw Attack. Once again, I don't like them, and neither should you. Okay, so what? They rely on sources from facts. And facts of what? The person who fucking wrote the script of that character? I mean, this is not even a fucking, you know, this is not even a politician shit right here. This is not even, this is, once again, not real people. Get that in your skull, and you'll start getting ideas. Hey, they're not real characters. I can make up any story I want with them. I don't care. Be an asshole about it. I don't care. Alright. I've seen plenty of fights, and yeah, I seen the fight with Kenshiro versus Jotaro. I knew Kenshiro was going to lose, because it's favoritism. I told you people already. I said that again. Favoritism, because JoJo is a more bigger popularity than Hokuto no Ken, and they're going to overshadow that shit. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to accept that. No, I'm not going to accept that, because it's like, well, that's them, not me. I have my own beliefs, and I have my own script. I can make who I want to win. I don't hold the rights to those characters, and neither do they. Only Araki and Tetsuhara does. It's like 31 flavors of people who want to have crossovers with characters. I just think it's dumb. I mean, same thing with the damn Goku versus Superman fight. I'm not trying to rant about this. It just gets on my nerves of how people just rant and argue over fictional characters. I mean, are we really get to down to the point where, like, are we really get to the point where we're gonna start continuing to talk about some fictional characters that you can make up your own? I mean, I don't know how many times I said that already in this video, but still. And another thing, the only thing I would actually compare to, even if it's fiction, okay, the only thing I would debate about is characters' personalities. You know, that's different shit, okay? Because it's written, not by actions, but I'm talking about, like, who's more tragic, who's more manly. I think I'll debate more with that, of course, because I like to do that. Like, okay, I find some people debate saying, oh, I find Guts more tragic than Kenshiro, because, you know, I ain't gonna go into specific details since it's explicit content. If you want to know the origin of Guts, then go read the damn book or watch the show, whatever. But, you know, in Kenshiro too, it's like, I have my own personal interests. I have my own types of characters, and I have my own, and like I said, I have my own interest, and it's like I don't have to follow the fandoms or the fan base of who you want to see win. See, Machinima used to do something with a crossover, like I seen fights like Bayonetta versus War from Darksiders, and people say, well, they have their own opinions and they throw out their own beliefs. So go on the voting poll, vote for your character. Who do you think will win, or who do you prefer? And that's the thing I love about that crossover thing. And you know, that's the thing that people just don't get. It's like, well, did you ever see Death Battle's point of view? Yeah, well, that's just what they believe. That's what they look at. That's how they see it. And just because they rely on sources doesn't make any difference. I mean, fucking A, it's all written shit. Just because once again, it's like if you put a writing there, if you write a story, and someone just made a story that's completely different from theirs, and you're trying to have a crossover of their abilities and such, enhance it. Freaking enhance it. Just like Mortal Kombat versus DC. All the characters' powers are enhanced. They're all equally rivaled, you know? And people just want to continue debating about that. It's like, oh, if they were from this universe, he would lose, and just like, fucking, just fucking kill me, please. But, yeah, sorry, but, you know, once again, it's just, don't go for those debates. Don't argue. I'm just done. I'm done with it nowadays. It's a waste of time. So if you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and comment below. Tell me what you think, how a crossover should be, and also tell me how you feel or discuss about what you think about this whole crossover debating situation. I don't know. I just think it's crazy, and on just made up characters and just people just treated them like they're real. But you know. Go ahead and tell me what you think. Comment below. I'm Himu Kim, and I'm out.